Hello. I just wanted to share about a huge physical healing journey that I've been on in the last 6 months or so. Maybe it will be helpful for somebody out there, and I'm calling this video Healing My Mystery Illness. For some of us, it takes for us to get really, really sick to acknowledge that we need to look at our health as a priority. And that was certainly my case. I was always putting my health to one side. If I'm well enough to do what I need to do in a day, I'll be fine. I've had heart palpitations a little bit over the years, but they began to get worse and worse to the point where it was happening day and night, and I started having blackouts. And I also began to acknowledge that I have a really huge chronic fatigue, as well as just feeling, even to get out of bed every day, it was so difficult. And of course I was fueling myself on coffee and chocolate just to kind of get through the day, which I know isn't the best. But the mind state that I was in, I guess I was quite out of my body. So the trip to the hospital was quite interesting, in the sense that when my heart started going really crazy on the hospital monitor and all the doctors and everything were running in, I started to acknowledge, like, wow, okay, I actually do have a problem here. Then I was shipped off in the ambulance to the cardiac ward in another hospital, where I ended up staying for a few days until I was sufficiently medicated enough to be sent out with an appointment to see the cardiologist about 6 weeks later or something like that. So leaving the hospital, I felt extremely fragile. And these 6 weeks between leaving the hospital and seeing the cardiologist were very, very intense. The medication was killing me. The side effects were so intense. The worst was probably memory loss, which was really quite scary. The feeling of losing my mind, as well as many, many, many other side effects. And one of the side effects was new irregular heartbeat. Another side effect was sudden death. So as I lay in bed one night with this different irregular heartbeat and feeling really bad, it just dawned on me, why am I taking this medication? It's not working, and it's making me feel way worse than I was before I even started taking it. So I just went cold turkey, stopped the medication. And how the medication works is it blocks a certain mineral into the heart, so it actually makes the heart unable to flare up into this wild heartbeat, but it doesn't in any way do anything for what is actually the cause of the heartbeat. So because my heartbeat had been suppressed for a few weeks, that night when I went cold turkey, it just flared up for about 6 hours. So intense. I knew I couldn't go back to the hospital. They'll just put me back on the medication. And I really didn't know what to do. So I called on all my strength. I prayed and prayed and prayed, and slow breathing, and I really was very humble that night, because I was sure that I'm going to die peacefully in my sleep, but that night I thought I was actually going to die of a heart attack when I'm not ready. So really, really humbled, and eventually it calmed down about 6 a.m, and that was a really wild night. And from that journey of that night, I realised I need to find an alternative way to heal this heartbeat. I need to understand what's causing it, not just medicate it. What's causing it? What's the reason? Like, is that crazy to want to know that? So I started doing a lot of research and found a lot of connection between the adrenals being completely fatigued and heart palpitations, and I can't deny my adrenals were completely burnt out, and also gut health. So I started to get on some Chinese herbs, get some acupuncture, and started getting every single herb and supplement that was for heart, for the blood, for chronic fatigue, for digestion, and I did start to feel a little bit better. I still felt like I'm going to die pretty soon, but I started to feel a little bit better. That's how bad I was feeling. So then I went back to see the cardiologist, and what he wanted to happen is that I have a procedure done on my heart called ablation, where they burn parts of the inside of the heart so the electricity doesn't fire, and that is their method of curing the irregular heartbeat. Now, my heart is very precious to me. I've done a lot of work on this heart, and it's a big and beautiful heart. So before I get any burn marks on my beautiful heart, I needed to be sure that this is the only option. So I said to the doctor, "Look, doctor, I'm having some relief from working on my adrenals and my digestive system, and I'm wondering, can I get back to you in 3 months' time, where I'm going to focus on my health, and if my heartbeat is still really bad, then I'll seriously consider this procedure." And the doctor actually laughed at me. He made fun of me, and he said, "You people down there in Murwillumbimby," which is kind of the name of the place where I'm living at the moment. He said, "You all like to eat your healthy food, but you need to take your medication and you need to have an operation." And he said, "Believe me, I don't need business. I've got plenty of people here. I just can't have you out there dropping dead." And I said, "Look, doctor, side effect of the medication is sudden death." Stone face. Yeah, I stepped over a line there. But that connection with the doctor freed me. The moment he actually made fun of wanting to give a try to improving my health as possibly something that will help my heartbeat, I felt released, and I said, "Thank you, doctor, goodbye." And ever since, I've been throwing the letters from the doctor in the bin and working on my health. So although that was a great illumination, that's kind of when the hard part really began, because I feel we are so trained that when we get sick, that we need to go to the doctor, and the doctor knows best because they're trained in something. But they're certainly not trained in health. They're certainly not trained in health. And I really had to undo a lot of my fears. Actually was the main thing. I think the first healing I needed to do was to let go of all the fear that the hospital and the doctor had put in me, that I'm going to die of a heart attack any moment. Because I knew I wasn't. I just knew I was really sick. So that was huge, step one. And then the journey has been, for many months, experimenting with eating a lot of foods, starting eating chicken and fish again. I haven't eaten that for probably a decade. Started eating everything. Maybe I'm malnourished, maybe yeah, of course, magnesium is very related to the heart. So I was taking so many supplements. Then I got the message that I'm actually knocking my body out of balance in another way by taking all these supplements, because how do I know exactly how much magnesium and calcium and potassium, and how do I know exactly how much I need for balance? I was just like, oh, my heart's going crazy, better take more magnesium. It's playing with nature. It's playing God with nature, and we can't do this because we are nature. That's our foundation. So we've got to come closer to nature to heal. We can't play God. We can't do a point. That was my message. So I stopped on all the supplements and I felt relief. Even though my heart was still going crazy, still feeling quite chronically fatigued. I have been very blessed in this life to work with the sacred plant medicines, and extremely blessed to be able to keep working with these while I've been so sick. And I have prayed so much in these last few months. Please, please, help me. Tell me, how do I take care of my health? How do I get better? I just want to feel better. I'll do anything. I'll do anything. And I really meant it to my core. And one night I got the message, your body's suffering from toxicity. And I thought, that can't be right. Sure, I've lived in nature for the last 7 years. I've eaten from the land and haven't been perfectly healthy, that's for sure. But it can't be toxicity. I've done some fasting in the past. But the message was loud and clear, and I sat with it, and there was no denying that it was true. And that began the start of the upward journey. So I began to research detoxing, and I began to actually find they say, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And I began to find the right teachers, the right words, the right information I needed to understand detoxing deeper than I did when I did some fasting in the past. Just understanding that you don't need to know about all this science of the body, the exact amount of proteins and minerals and vitamins that we need. Just drop all that and just come back to nature. And so this is the journey that I've been on for about 4 months. And I'll go deeper into it in another video. But changed my diet, started to move on to fruits and mostly raw food. Not strict at all, still had my treats, my avo and toast addiction, but not that much, because I've done all the fruitarian thing in the past and raw food for years, and that's why I was kind of thinking that can't be the answer. But I think even though we may try different ways in the past, sometimes we're just not ready. And I think that the journey of healing is really holistic. It's not just physical, it's body, heart, mind and soul. And I was really ready. So yeah, got back on the fruits again, and I'm so lucky to live in subtropical Australia. So I had papayas, mangoes, bananas, just in abundance. So delicious. Wasn't a problem. And the thing that made me know that I'm on the right path is that I started to feel so much better, so fast. It was huge. The chronic fatigue left me, left my body. Yeah, I'm normally fatigued if I have a long day, but this can't get out of bed feeling gone. A regular heartbeat, so much better. I've candida clearing up, many symptoms. So that's what really just helped me trust this path that I've been following. And then recently I've been moving deeper into some fasting, following the Master Fast protocol, and I'll share all more about what I've been doing in another video. I don't want this to be too long, But basically I can say at this point in time, my heartbeat is fantastic. Chronic fatigue is gone. I am pain-free. I never realised just how much pain I had in all my joints, especially my hips. I never really wanted to do any exercise. Even going for a walk was uncomfortable. My work was uncomfortable because I had so much pain. Now I don't have pain. Thread veins on my legs clearing up, candida clearing up. All stomach, digestion, bloating gone. And I'm feeling inspired. My monkey mind has calmed down. And I'm really feeling hopeful. And I've got a lot to sort out in my life, finances, love life, all that stuff that just so doesn't matter. Because when you feel really crap and really sick, you just can't live life. So number one is to feel good in the body. And I do. And I'm so grateful and I'm so humbled. And I'm so grateful that I got so sick. Because I would never have turned around my health like this. So I call it mystery illness solved, because I do know so many people that have chronic fatigue or these illnesses that the doctors say it's all in your head, or that they can't find a cure, or they just medicate you. And I'm really beginning to believe that the root of it is because the body is too full of toxins. You might look healthy, you might be really good at yoga, you might be slim, really good looking, muscular, but it doesn't actually mean that your insides are healthy. And I'm in no way saying I completely know what I'm talking about. This is a really great journey, and it's especially a journey to realize how little I know about how to actually take care of this body. So I leave it at that, and sending lots of love and a message to live out your nectar. Much love.